Predestination is only for the hopeful elect and not for the rest of the world. Predestination is only for the hopeful elects and not for the rest of the world. Welcome. This is your Hebrew Israelite brother Mashaba here in the city of Detroit. Welcome to part 2 of this lesson. Predestination is for the hopeful elects, only for the hopeful elects, and not for the whole world. We'd like to start this off by giving all praises and all honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakapadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elects. Now we're going to start this off by going to Ephesians chapter 1. Ephesians chapter 1, starting at verse 5. Right up here. Here we go. And it reads, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahweh Shai to himself. Okay, adoption. That takes us to Romans chapter 9. Okay, the adoption. Okay, we were adopted back unto the Father by the precious blood of Yahweh Shai, by his crucifixion, the shedding of his blood. Okay, according to the good pleasure of his will. Okay, according to the good pleasure of his will, to the praise of the glory of his grace, wherein he hath made us accepted in the beloved. You see? Predestination is only for the hopeful elect. Verse 7, in whom we have redemption through his blood. You see? Through his blood. Takes us to Romans chapter 9. Through his blood. Through the blood of who? Yahweh Shai. The forgiveness of sins according to the riches of his grace. That takes us to what? Ephesians chapter 2. Verse 8, 9, and 10. I do believe that is. For we are under grace right now. Okay. In verse 8, wherein he hath abounded toward us in all wisdom and prudence. Okay, give us understanding and knowledge. Verse 9, having made known unto us the mystery of his will. His will, not our will. His will, not our will. We don't have free will. This is according to the mystery of his will. That's why no matter what we say, no matter what we try to put together, we can't put nothing together. We can't say we're going to do this or we're going to do that. James chapter 4, verse 15. We should say, if it be Yahweh's will that we would do this. If it be Yahweh's will that we would do that. Okay, because it is not up to us. Our footsteps are ordered by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. He is the one that has written it. I did a video about it. Our footsteps are ordered. Okay. To Yahweh. Okay. According to his will. According to his good pleasure, which he had purposed, you see, in himself. Now, there is a purpose that the hopeful elects have that is inside of Yahweh Shai. John chapter 17, starting at verse 9. Yahweh Shai said he prayed for them. I pray for them. I pray not for the whole world. Okay? Why? Because we are glorified. We glorify Yahweh Shai, and he is glorified in us. And we glorify Yahweh, and Yahweh is glorified in us. And we are all glorified by Yahweh. Okay? Okay? And that's how that is. Verse 10. That in the dispensation.
Music production online with Berkeley's renowned
One moment,
faculty.
please.
Download your free music production handbook now and discover how Berkeley Online can help you become a.
Back right on over to here. Verse 10. That in the dispensation of the fullness of the times, he might gather together in one all things in the Mashiach, both which are in heaven and which are on earth, even in him. Okay? In him. Because we have a destination. Our destination is in Yahushua. He is the firstborn. And we shall be conformed to his likeness. That he is the first fruit amongst many. Okay? That's why he was created the first spirit created, and then he in turn created us, and then we in turn, under his tutelage, created everything else thereof. Okay? Okay? And so all this transpired before the actual foundation of this earth was put together. Okay? Verse 11. In whom also we have obtained an inheritance. You see? An inheritance. There's an inheritance that's due us. You can't just give the inheritance to anybody. I did a video about that. You can't just give it only for the nation of Israel. You cannot just give our inheritance to anybody else. Each and every tribe has their own inheritance according to that which is of the degree of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has set forth. Okay, because we're going to be share heirs in with Yahushua, and all the wealth that all the nations are going to be bringing into the kingdom. The gates of the kingdom is going to be open all the time because the people are going to bring in their wealth. Okay? And to Yahushua, he's going to be sharing it with who? Amongst us, his brothers. Okay? Our kingdom is going to be inside of the kingdom of Yahushua, inside of the kingdom of heaven. Okay? And so predestination, we are predestinated to that. Any and everybody cannot be predestinated to that. Only the nation of Israel is predestinated to that. Being predestinated, you see? Being predestinated according to the purpose of him whom worketh all things after the counsel of his own will. You see? You see? Of his own will. See, so we had to remember that and understand that. Now we're going to take this on over to we're going on over to 1 Corinthians. Yep, we're going to 1 Corinthians. See, because you have to understand, when you're talking about free will, only the heathens, the Edomites and the heathens have free will to do what they want to do, because they were not given the laws, statutes, and commandments. We were. They were not. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 2, starting at verse 7. But we speak the wisdom of Yahweh in a mystery. Remember, the mystery of his will. You see, the mystery of his will. Remember, we just got to reading that. In verse 11, the mystery of his will. The verse 11 of Ephesians chapter 1. Verse 5 through 11. But we speak the wisdom of Yahweh in a wisdom, even the hidden wisdom. You see? Which is of the mystery of his will, which Yahweh obtained before the world unto our glory. You see, before the world unto our glory. So we are predestined from the beginning, from the very beginning until the time when we come up to, when we stand before Yahweh. Those of us who are predestined to stand before him to receive the glory that he has set forth for us to have. Those of us who are predestined to be conformed into the likeness of Yahweh. Verse 8, which none of the prince of this world knew, for had they known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. You see? You see? And so, let's take this on over to we're going over to Acts. And the word Acts, what does that stand for? Acts. Does it stand for some hatchets? An axe? No. Acts stands for the actions of the prophets. That's what Acts stand for. We first going to 2:23. And it reads, now this is Acts chapter 2, verse 23. And it reads, him being delivered by the determinate counsel and foreknowledge of Yahweh, yea, have taken and by wicked hands have crucified and slain. That's concerning the Lord. That was, hold on, let's take this to, and now we're going over to Acts chapter 4, starting in verse, this is 28. Let's see what this is talking about. For to do whatsoever thy hand and thy counsel determined before to be done. So, in other words, the counsel of the Lord has set forth what was to be done beforehand. And so what was said in the beginning was set forth the predestination of the hopeful elect. From the beginning, it was set. So that here now and then in these times, now we'd have some idea as to whom us hopeful elects are. We'd have some idea, and we're hoping to be of that number of the hopeful elects. Okay, now we're going to take this on over to we're going over to Isaiah. Let me see if it's hiding up under there, because sometimes we're going over to Isaiah. Right there, 45? Isaiah chapter 45, verse 12 and 13. And this is 12, and it reads, I have made the earth. Now this is the Almighty Father, Yahweh talking. I have made the earth and created man.
People think learning piano takes a really long time, but that's false. Here's how long it really takes with this new method.
Let's get rid of this guy. Now, I have made the earth and created man upon it. I, even my hand, have stretched out the heavens, and all their host have I commanded. I have raised him up. Him who? Talking about who? Jacob. I have raised him up in righteousness. I will direct all his ways. All our ways are directed by the Almighty Father. He is the one that directs our ways. He shall, but check this out though. Go back to this one word here. Righteousness. I have raised him up in righteousness. Now, the who's raised up in righteousness? Only the hopeful elect. Hopeful elect men, hopeful elect women, hopeful elect children. Only the hopeful elects are raised up in righteousness. The 2/3 and the heathens and the Edomites, they are not in righteousness. They are in wickedness. Understand that point. And I will direct all his ways. You see? The Father directs the ways of the righteous. The footsteps of the righteous are ordered. It is the righteous that live justly by faith, because the wicked knows no faith. The wicked live by sight. The righteous live by faith. Understand that difference. And I will direct all his ways, and he shall build my city, and he shall let go my captive. You see? You see? When the time comes, not for price nor reward, saith the Lord of hosts. You see? When the time comes, you see? And so we have to make sure we understand when we're talking about the Lord and whom he has chosen to be delivered, whom he has chosen to be saved. Okay? So now we're taking this on over to John. Okay. I'm taking it to John chapter 15, starting at verse 16. Right? Let's see. Right, starting at verse 16. So this is John. This is going down here, verse 16. This is John chapter 15, verse 16. This is the Lord speaking. Yea, Yahweh, have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. You see? Chosen. Those of us whom are chosen, we are predestined. Okay? Have chosen you and obtained, obtained you. Remember, we are thine that have been given to Yahweh Shai by Yahweh. Obtained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit. And that means also bring forth disciples, helpers, other people into this truth that are willing to learn this truth and be a part of this truth and come onto the path of righteousness and fight the good fight, study the course, and keep the faith. Okay? So that they can receive righteousness and deliverance. Okay? And that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name. You see? In order for us to ask in Yahweh name, we must know his name, right? You see? He may give it you. He may give it you. Okay? Because we are predestined unto the Father. Okay? We're predestined. Now let's take this on over to, I'm going to take this on over to Proverbs, chapter 16, of course. 16 and 4. And it reads, and these are just scriptures that I'm giving you concerning predestination. You know, it's a whole bunch of scriptures concerning predestination. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Okay? Even the wicked for the day of evil. Then we go down here to verse 9. Oops. A man's heart devises his way, but the Lord directs his steps. You see? It's the Lord that directs a man's step, not the man. And we have to remember that. You have to remember that. Now we're going to take this on over to, okay, we're going on over to Luke. Okay. Luke chapter 18, starting at verse 7. And it reads, and shall not Yahweh avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him? You see, his elect. He don't do that for everyone. He don't do that for the world, for his elect. Unto him through, though he bear long with them, because it is us whom Yahweh directs our steps one way or another. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? And he will. He'll find faith in his men. In his men. Now we're going to take this to back to Acts, because there's a few things that I want you to get in Acts concerning, let's see, the music that you're hearing, that's Sophia Kibriskaya, harpist. I don't know if she's from Russia. It sounds like it's from Russia. She's from Russia, the last name. Let's see, chapter 15, starting at verse 17. And I read, now these, like I said, these are scriptures concerning predestination, because predestination is only for the hopeful elects. You see. Verse 17, and not for the whole world. For the whole world, they have free will to do what they choose, because the laws were not given to them. The laws were only given to the nation of Israel. We were the only ones with Moses when he came down with the laws, statutes and commandments with judgments from the Almighty Father Yahweh, okay, and the angels. Verse 17, and that the residue, talking about the one third, the hopeful elects, that the residue of man might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles, those that were scattered, talking about Gentile foreigners, those that are Israelites that were scattered into the Gentile nations, upon whom my name is called. You see, and only the Israelites, or those are the Gentile foreigners, saith the Lord, who doeth all these things. You see? Who doeth all these things, not known unto Yahweh all his works for the beginning of the world. Takes us back to the beginning of the world, don't it? Because from the very beginning, us hopeful elects were chosen from the very beginning. Now we're going to take this on over to what? Rome. Going to Romans, of course, you know, chapter 8, because Romans chapter 8 makes it clear concerning, let's see, the predestination being for the hopeful elect. Now, this starts off at verse 28. And we, Salakia, and we know that all things work together for good to them. That the them is those that were given to Yahweh by Yahweh. Good to them that love Yahweh, to them whom are the called. Because remember, Matthew chapter 22, verse 14, many are called, but only few are chosen. Okay? As to the reason why we do our due diligence to show that the calling of our election is assured. Okay? According to his purpose. You see? According to his purpose. The purpose of who? Yahweh. According to his purpose. Verse 29. For whom he did foreknew, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son. You see, we've been predestinated to be conformed to the image of his Son. Those of us whom have been chosen from the very beginning, before the very foundations of this world. Okay? And so, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, verse 30, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, okay, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. You see? You see? Because we are glorified in Yahweh. We are glorified in Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. That's when we are glorified in. Okay? And we're going to take this right quick to Romans chapter 9, verse 11 to close this out. Remember, if you like my videos, if you feel that you've been spiritually edified, remember to press the like button and press the subscription button. Okay, that helps out for the algorithms of this YouTube channel. Thank you ever so much. The water. Now this is Romans chapter 9, verse 11. For the children being not yet born, what children? Talking about Isaac and Jacob. From who? Rebecca. Okay. Not yet being born. Okay. Talking about Esau and Jacob being born from Rebecca. Salakia. Talking about Esau and Jacob being born from Rebekah by the father being Isaac. Okay. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil. See, neither one. It was they was chosen one way or another. One chosen to the right, one chosen to the left. One chosen to be an Israelite, the other chose to be an Edomite. And that the purpose, what purpose? The purpose of the mystery of the will of Yahweh. Purpose of Yahweh according to election. The election of those of us who've been chosen from the very beginning might stand, okay, because of the predestination, not of works. See, because it's not of works that we've been chosen. We've been chosen not of works. We were chosen from the beginning before any works were even done. But of him that calleth. But of him that calleth. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and end the video off there. We thank you ever so much. Hopefully you've been edified by today's lesson on predestination. Is only for the hopeful elect and not for the rest of the world. This is part 2. We'd like to give all praises and all honors to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of the great millstone that taught us this truth, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elects.